Hello scholars, myself Prem Shikhar Pandey from the Pole Education, and today we'll be discussing of second part of 100 most expected questions for the 1st October exam of English literature. So the first part I have already discussed 50 questions, and in today's class we will be discussing about next 50 questions from 51 to 100. And I thank you all for joining this session, as this session is very important, and one thing is very sure that all those that find the session are very much serious towards your exam. So kindly focus on the questions and you need to answer in the chat box. So here is the first question of today's class. Jabberwocky is a work by Lewis Carroll. It's a poem that is included in his 1871 novel Through the Looking Glass. The complete title of the novel was Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There. It was published in 1871, and Jabberwocky is a poem inside the novel. This poem is about killing of a creature. The name of the creature was Jabberwock. The novel Through the Looking Glass and What Alice Found There, published in 1871, was the sequel of previous novel Alice Adventure in Wonderland that was published in 1865. Both the books tells about the adventures of Alice, and Jabberwocky is considered as one of the greatest nonsense poems. So B is the right option. And why it is known as a nonsense poem? Because there is an invention of nonsense words, like a neologism. Neologism means invention of new words. So Lewis Carroll has invented several new words, nonsense words. Like one is chortle, C-H-O-R-T-L-E, chortle. The next word is galumphing, G-L-U-M-P-H-I-N-G. So these are the nonsense words used for the first time in English literature. So this Jabberwocky poem is regarded as one of the greatest nonsense poems written in English language. Here's the next question, number 52. Willful West makes woeful want. So you can find here the figure of speech, alliteration. Alliteration means the repetition of consonant sounds. So here the consonant is wa. Wa is repeated again and again. Willful West makes woeful want. So there is a repetition of wa as a consonant sound in this sentence. So the right answer is alliteration. The repetition of consonant sounds is called alliteration, and the repetition of vowel sounds is known as assonance. So you must know the difference between alliteration and assonance. Here's the next question. A History of the World in 10.5 chapters is a novel by Julian Barnes. C is the right answer. It was published in the year 1989. Although it's a novel, but in fact it is a collection of short stories in different styles. The main character of this novel is Noah. Noah is the Greek biblical character who is represented as the representative of God in this work. So C, Julian Barnes is the right answer, and here is the next question. Yes, all of you are right. Everyone is right here. Auditory imagination means predicting the sense from the sound. A is the right answer. Auditory imagination, from the term itself it is clear. Imagination or predicament from the sense of the sound. So A is the right answer. And here is the next question. The writer who describes revenge as a kind of wild justice, so he was Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon wrote a small essay. The title of the essay was On Revenge. That was published in the year 1625. He said that revenge is against the law. And both gods and man, they both need justice. So Bacon says that revenge oversteps the boundaries of the law. And it places the avenger not only even with the avenged in terms of the crime, but above him in terms of taking wild justice into his own hands. So he says that it is the duty of the lawmakers like prince, king, and court to pardon and punish criminals, not vigilance. He further says that revenge is selfish. The avenger places himself above the avenged and the lawmakers. And he says that vengeance has no place in a community. Vengeance is a rogue. It's an egocentric and self-satisfying. Revenge doesn't exhibit any kind of communal morality or love for others. And here is the next question. Yes, some of you are right. It's a table alphabetical written in 1604. It's not 160D, it is 1604. It's a typographical error. So the table alphabetical is the first English dictionary in English literature or English language. You must remember it was written by Robert Cordray in the year 1604. It was first published in London, England, and it is the first monolingual dictionary. Before this, there was no dictionary existing in English language. This was the first dictionary, and after this, the next dictionary was of Samuel Johnson in the year 1755. This was the first monolingual dictionary in English language by Robert Cowdray, published in London in 1604. There were only 120 pages and 2,543 words altogether in this dictionary. And it is claimed that the purpose of writing this dictionary was for the benefit and help of ladies, gentlewomen, or other unskillful persons, the people who were not skillful. So for them, this dictionary was written in 1604. The words of this dictionary were taken from Hebrew, Greek, Latin, and French. So here you can find B is the right option, Hebrew. All these four languages were used in formation of the dictionary: Hebrew, Greek, Latin, and French. Here is the next question. Yes, some of you have given the right answer. The line destroyer and preserver, here, oh here, occurs in Ode to the West Wind by P.B. Shelley. As all of you know that ode means to glorify someone. Here in this poem, Ode to the West Wind, P.B. Shelley glorifies to the west wind. And he says that west wind is a destroyer as well as a preserver. So he said that wild spirit which art moving everywhere, destroyer and preserver, here, oh here. So here the B.B. Shelley speaks about the dual aspects of west wind, both as a destroyer and as a preserver. He says that wind is a wild spirit and the power of destruction blowing everywhere. The west wind is called the destroyer as well as the preserver, because while it destroys the leaves, it preserves seeds to germinate later. So it's a destroyer of the leaves. When it is blowing, it is destroying the leaves. It's making the leaves to fall down from the trees to earth. But simultaneously, it is preserving seeds. It's making the seeds to fall down on the earth and to regerminate again and producing another tree. So the west wind destroys only the useless, decayed things, dry things, dead leaves that are not green symbol of life, but have sickly colors like pale, black, yellow, hectic red. The wind carries away the dead leaves and piles them on the ground where they will mold and become fertile soil after they are rotten for the new plants to grow in the coming spring. It carries the light seeds away from the parent plants and it scatters them everywhere so that in spring they will start a new life, they will germinate and they will become a new tree. So the seeds lie buried safely in the ground all through winter until the warm spring breeze, as you sisters of west wind, will blow, thawing the hard soil so that seeds could come out. So this is how he says that the west wind is a destroyer and the preserver. Here's the next question. So all of you have given the right answer. The right answer is opium. The confession of opium addiction was given by Thomas de Quincey in his very first famous work, Confession of an Opium Eater, in 1821. Thomas de Quincey is a romantic author from the Romantic period. And in the year 1821, he wrote an autobiographical work, Confessions of an English Opium Eater, in which he talked about his confession about the opium called laudanum. Laudanum is a type of opium, so he was addicted to laudanum. So he talks about its effect on his life in this work, Confessions of an English Opium Eater. And it starts with, he says that the first major work De Quincey published, and the one which was responsible for winning him the almost overnight fame. So it was first published anonymously in the year 1821 in London Magazine, and in the very next year in 1822 it was published under the name Thomas de Quincey in the form of a book. It was published in two parts. Part one begins with a notice that is entitled "To the Reader," where he says that I here present you, courteous reader, with the record of a remarkable period in my life. It is followed by the substance of part one. As I said, there are two parts. So part one begins with "To the Reader," and the second part talks about several sections like pleasure of the opium, and then he also talks about introduction to the pains of opium, which delivers the second installment of the autobiography. Here's the next question. The word English and tiger are the examples of the foot. So here you can find two syllables in the word ing and lish. Syllables are actually the combination of the vowel sound and consonant sound. So in the word English, E is the vowel sound and ing, ga is the consonant sound. So ing becomes a syllable. Then li E. L is the consonant sound and E is the vowel sound. And then sh is again consonant sound. So there are two consonant sound and one vowel sound. So if we want to make a syllable, we must have a set of vowel sound and consonant sound. So lish is one syllable. So English is having two syllable. So either it is iambic or trochee. Iambic means one unstressed syllable followed by stressed syllable, and trochee means one stressed syllable followed by unstressed syllable. So we will pronounce the word English in both the manners. Like the first is syllable stressed one, so English, and in the second way we can pronounce English. So you can find out which is the right pronunciation, whether it's English or English. So you know that is English is right. That means trochee is the right answer. Same way you can check the pronunciation of the tiger. Ti is one syllable and go is another syllable. So tiger is having two syllables and it's also a trochee. This is the next question. Okay, all of you have given the right answer. The right answer is A. Epithalamion is an ode written to his bride by Edmund Spenser in the year 1595. In the year 1594, Edmund Spenser was married to Elizabeth Boyle, and this ode was written to glorify the wedding of Edmund Spenser with Elizabeth Boyle. This work was published with another sonnet sequence that was entitled Amoroti. Amoroti sonnets were having 89 sonnets. And Epithalamion and Amorities were published together in the year 1595. This ode begins with an invocation of the muses, and these muses help Edmund Spenser as a groom and moves through the couple's wedding day. In this poem, Spenser meticulously records the hours of the day from before dawn, that means before morning, to late into the wedding night. So there are 24 stanzas in the poem that represents each hour of a midsummer day. So each stanza represents the hours of the midsummer day. The next one is Pious Plowman. It's a Middle English alliterative poem from the late 14th century, attributed to a man whose name is William Langland. And he has published the Visions of Pious Plowman into 3 editions. The first edition was published in the year 1362. This edition is known as Text A. The second edition was in 1369, that is known as edition Text B, and the final edition was in the year 1377, in the year that is having 1500 lines. This is Text C. Number of visions are total 8. Number of passes or number of stanzas are 20. The protagonist of the poem is Will, and the other characters are Lady Mead, Conscience, Reason, False, and King, Pious Plowman, Hunger, Truth. 3 allegorical characters: do well, do best, do well, do bet, and do best. And the beginning line of the poem is the voice of him that cried in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of the Lord. So this was all about Pious Plowman. And then Hero and Leander, that's a poem by Christopher Marlowe that has been taken based on the Greek mythological characters Hero and Leander. Although this poem was a fragment, it was not completed by Marlowe. He died before the poem was completed. Later on, this poem was completed by George Chapman. and it only appeared posthumously after the death of Marlowe, after 5 years of the death of Marlowe. Hero and Leander is another poem by a romantic author whose name is Leigh Hunt. This poem was published in the year 1819. The result of 3 years of work. The poem is again the Greek myth of Hero and Leander, the two lovers, and the story of their forlorn fate. And the last one, The Art of English Poesy, was published in the year 1589 by George Puttenham, who is another English writer and literary critic. So this was all about all these authors. Now coming to the next question.
This one is a new question. Most of you have not studied. This is there is a work by William Hogarth. The title is A Just View of the British Stage. A Just View of the British Stage. It is having another title. 3 heads are better than 1. It appeared in the year 1724 by William Hogarth. And it presents the satirical view about the management of the British place. And it mocks about the poor London and the degeneration of the culture in London. So it is an attack on the theatre of London by William Hogarth in the year 1891. Here is the next question. Some of you are right. Sharmili, Kavita, Sumana, Neeru, Vidyut, Nisha. All of you are right. The right answer is transport epithet. There's a difference. Some of you have marked personification, as I can see. So you have to understand the difference between personification and transport epithet. Personification means giving human characteristics to non-human things, whereas transport epithet involves transferring of the epithet, transferring of the qualities, which actually describes something else. So here the example is learned book, how a book can be learned. Hot day, how the day can be hot. So it is describing something else. So the meaning is transfer. If I say I had a wonderful day, so how a day can be wonderful? It is my feeling, which I feel like it's a wonderful day. So the day is not wonderful. The speaker had a wonderful day. So the epithet wonderful actually describes here the kind of a day that the speaker has experienced. I can also give one example: sleepless night, suicidal sky. So how this can be possible? How a night can be sleepless? So this is how we can identify the transferred epithet. And personification means giving the human attributes to non-animate objects, like dancing leaves. That means it is the human quality. Dancing is human quality, but this quality is given to leaves. Now the leaves are dancing. So now you must have understood the difference between transfer epithet and personification. Yes, all of you are right. Suma, Namit, Neeru, Sunil, Sumana, Vidyut, Kavita, all of you are right. This quotation has been taken from Alfred Prufrock, Love Song of Alfred J. Prufrock by T.S. Eliot. In this poem, Prufrock admits that he admits about his own insignificance, and he says that he is not Prince Hamlet, he is actually Polonius. So he says that no, I am not Prince Hamlet, nor was meant to be. I am an attendant lord, one that will do to swell a progress, start a scene or two, advise the prince, no doubt an easy tool. So he says that I am an attendant lord. Attendant lord, so he was a Polonius, the attendant of Claudius, and he was not Hamlet. So you must understand that what he indicates to himself. He says that he is not Prince Hamlet, but he is Polonius. Yes, all of you are giving the right answer. The right answer is critic with gusto. This was the other name given by T.S. Eliot to the professional critics. If anyone knows in which critical work he said this, you can type in the chat box. Any guesses? I'm not receiving an answer. There was a small essay by T.S. Eliot, and the title was To Criticize the Critic. To criticize the critic, that appeared in the collection of essay The Sacred Wood, which was published in the year 1921. The Sacred Wood is a collection of the essays published in 1921. So inside this essay collection, there appeared an essay which entitled To Criticize the Critic, where he described professional critics as critic with gusto. The Sacred Wood, yes, Varun Bhatt, you're right. This is The Sacred Wood, published in 1921. Here is the next question. Some of you are right. Mohan Bharti, Deepti Mishra. Both of you are right. The alchemy operates on the twin principle of philosopher's stone and the auxiliary. So this elixir is nothing but a potion. It's like a liquid or a magical potion that can guarantee or use love or turn someone's mind. So these two things were used by the alchemist in Ben Jonson's The Alchemist. One was philosopher's stone and the other thing was elixir. Here is the next question. Yes, some of you are giving the right answer. Sujata Yogi, Sunil Prajapati, Mohan Bharti, Neeru, Vidyut, Sharmili, Namit, all of you given the right answer. The right answer is paradox. So we have to understand. I can see most of you are confused between the option B and C, oxymoron and paradox. In the oxymoron, the contrasting words are close to each other. There is nothing between. No conjunction, no interjection, nothing in between the two words. And those two words must be opposite of each other, contrasting to each other. Then it will be oxymoron. But if they are apart, it will be paradox. The statement itself is a paradox. Here, I must be cruel, only to be kind. So this is one statement, I must be cruel. And the other statement or the sub-statement is only to be kind. So these two are contrasting to each other. So two statements, when contrasting to each other, it is paradox. And when the two contrasting words are close together, they are oxymoron. I hope I am clear to everyone. I'll move on to next question. Irony and paradox. Irony means where it expresses exactly opposite of what you say. Like if you say it's something awkward or something cruel, if you say it's beautiful, that means you are making an irony. That your expression exactly gives the opposite meaning. So by that way, you can identify the difference between irony and paradox. If we are giving all the wrong answers and if I say that you are very intelligent, that means it is an irony. Neeru, Nisha, Suma, Mohan, Sharmili, Sunil, all of you again the right answer. The right answer is D, visionary gleam and celestial light. These are the phrases used in ode intimations of immortality. So take out some time to read this poem. The complete title is Ode Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. So as I said, ode is to glorify. So here immortality is glorified by William Wordsworth. This poem was published in the year 1804 and it was published in a collection called Poems in 2 volumes in 1807. Here is the next question. Dear Barun, nothing can be covered in a short time. If you want to go through all the literary terms, there is nothing better than M.H. Abrams, but it will take time. It's not possible to go through in a short time. Yes, I have uploaded one YouTube video about the rhetoric and prosody where I discussed all the figure of speech. You can go through that in my YouTube channel. Bhavana Krishnan has a doubt on question number 67, so I'll display it again. Visionary, gleam, and celestial light. These are the two phrases used in this poem by William Wordsworth. So you need to read the poem, then you will find these phrases in the poem. Okay, so D is the right answer. Okay, coming to the next question, question number 68. Some of you have given the right answer. The right answer is Goldsmith, Oliver Goldsmith, The Deserted Village, which is a poem published in 1770. Sharmili, Sujata, Kavita, Suma, Dipti, Niru, Vidyut, all of you are right. This line appears in The Deserted Village, a poem by Oliver Goldsmith, which is a work of social commentary, and it condemns the rural population who are now in the pursuit of excessive wealth. This poem was written in heroic couplets and mainly describes the decline of a village and the immigration of the villagers towards the urban areas. Here is the next question. A very easy question. All of you are giving the right answer. It's William Blake. William Blake is also known as the precursor of the Romantics. He was born in the year 1757 and died in 1827. So before the Romanticism started in the year 1798, he has already started writing the elements of Romanticism. Some of you have given the right answer. So Nisha, Namit, Deepti, Suma, Niru, Sumana, Sunil, Revti, all of you have given the right answer. Sangama also given the right answer. The right answer is Puritanism. Bato no me few affair is a work by Ben Jonson. It is an attack on Puritanism. It was regarded as Jacobean comedy. Again, the genre of this work is important. Bato me few affair. There was a question also asked in the last year exam. Bato me affair. So it's a Jacobean comedy written in 5 acts, published in 1614. It was performed at the Hope Theatre by Lady Elizabeth Mann Company. and it is an attack on Puritanism. Praveen Soronoki is about a black slave, and you have to tell the setting. All of you have given the right answer. It is set in West Indies. Suman, Nisha, Namit, Kavita, Vidyut, Niru, Dipti. Suman published the work Orinoco. Can anyone of you tell me what is the genre of Orinoco? That's a very important work by Afra Bain. He is also having a subtitle, The Royal Slave. It is also regarded as a prose fiction. Yes, it's a novel, it's a prose fiction by Afra Bain, published in the Year of Glorious Revolution, 1688. Although there is a place called Suriname, as Suma has said, Suriname is also there, but actually it is set in West Indies. He is sold to a place in that is a British colonist. The name is Suriname. This is the place where he meets the narrator. So Suma is also right. Coming to the next question. This is a very simple question. All of you again the right answer. Where there is an exclamation mark and the end of the sentence, the figure of speech is exclamation. Very simple. All of you right. It's an exclamation. I have not received any right answer of this question number 73. Yes, Namit is right. This is a quotation from Oscar Wilde. There is much to be said in favor of modern journalism. By giving us the opinions of the uneducated, it keeps us in touch with the ignorance of the community. This is a work by On Journalism by Oscar Wilde. Here is the next question. Yes, all of you have given brilliant answer. The right answer is C. It's a work by Gugi wa Thiong'o. The complete title is Globalectic Theory and Politics of Knowing. It was published in the year 1962. Yes, some of you are giving the right answer. This is question from Indian literature. You must solve it. The right answer is D. Shiv Parekh, Sunil Prajapati, Suma. All of you have given the right answer. I'll start with the Calcutta Chromosome. This is a novel by Amitabh Ghosh, published in 1995. The setting is in 1990s, Calcutta and New York. The next is So Many Hungers. This is by Bhavani Bhattacharya. The setting is about the famine in West Bengal in 1943. Originally, it was published in the year 1947. The next is Shadow from Ladakh. It's again a novel by Bhavani Bhattacharya. Was published in 1966. The book is set in Sino-Indian War. Setting of also the war of China and Tibet. And in an antique land. The work by Amitabh Ghosh. Here's the next question. Many of you are in doubt because this is a new question for all of you. The right answer is H.Z. Biroson. Neeru has given the right answer. No. I have not got any right answer. The right answer is H.G. Biroson, who talks about the applied linguistics for the first time in the year 1981. Biroson is the first man who talks about the applied linguistics, exploration in applied linguistics in the year 1981. When you get the video in the YouTube, kindly go through this work in detail. Here's the next question. Here, all of you are giving the wrong answer. Just you need to look at the words up and down, all, hip, ye. Ye is the word which is used in the Old English. It's not a modern language. Ye means you. Ye means you. So it is not written by any modern author. So this work appears in Dante's Divine Comedy. So you need to apply your common sense. If you need to look at each and every word. Abandon all hope. Your who enters here. Abandon all hope. You who enter here. Ye means you. Ye is a word used in Old English language. Here's the next question. Yes, all of you are right. Penelope is the name of Odysseus' wife in Homer's Odyssey. There is another name similar to Penelope, Penelope Deveru. This name in the chat box. Who is Penelope Deveru? Yes, very right, Namit. It was the beloved of Philip Sidney, to whom he addressed his sonnets, Strophel and Stella. Some of you have given the right answer. Suman, Namit, Tiruditi, Sunil, all of you are right. There is no name given for the monster in Frankenstein. So kindly go through this work, Frankenstein, once again. Here's the next question. Yeah, syllable is the smallest unit, and Foot is the combination of two or more short or long syllables. Here is the next question. Yes, syllable is the smallest unit and foot consists of two or more long or short syllable. Foot is a combination of two syllables, two or more syllables. So the smallest unit here is syllable. Yes, all of you are giving the right answer. It is Montaigne. Montaigne was the first essayist. Can anyone of you know Montaigne was from which country? His full name was Michael de Montaigne. He was from France. And the first essay written by him was entitled Essays. Okay, here is the next question. Yeah, some of you are right. Vidyut, Suma, Sunil, Neeru, Dipti, Mohan, all of you are right. He wrote the Epigraph of Isaac Newton. His lines were written for Isaac Newton. Nature and nature laws lay hid in the night. God said, "Let be," and all was light. Here is the next question. Question by Mohan Bharti. What was the name of the work by Pope? He did not write in any of the work, rather it was written to be on the death of Isaac Newton. This was to be written on his graveyard where he was buried. So it was written on his graveyard stone. The lines were written on the stone where he was buried. Which Indian English poet founded Writers' Workshop? I'm not getting answer to this question. Am I audible to everyone? Say yes if you can hear me. Yes, Namit, Titi, both of you are right. Mohan is also right. Writers' Workshop is founded by Purushottam Lal. Purushottam Lal is commonly known as P. Lal. He is an Indian translator, professor, and essayist, and he founded Writers' Workshop. It's a forum for the writers in Calcutta in 1958. He just died in the last decade, 2010. He was from Kolkata. Yeah, because of the network, I received the answers late. Okay, here's the next question. All of you are brilliant. Long Walk to Freedom, excellent. This is the autobiography written by Nelson Mandela. A very simple question. All of you given the right answer. Dr. Faustus is by Christopher Marlowe. Rest all works by Thomas Mann. Thomas Mann was a German novelist and short story writer. He got Nobel Prize in the year 1929. The important works of Thomas Mann are The Transposed Heights, Magic Mountain, he also written Dr. Faustus. Thomas Mann, as I remember, he has also written Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus, The Transposed Head. Who wrote The Transposed Head? Magic Mountain is also by Thomas Mann. The Transposed Head is also a novella by Thomas Mann. So the right answer is D. Yes, D is the right answer. Chronicle of a Death Foretold. This is a book by, if anyone knows, Chronicle of a Death Foretold. You can write the answer in the chat box. This work was published in the year 1981. The main character is Santiago. The story is about the murder of Santiago. This is a novella by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Very right, Varun and Namit. Okay, here is the next question. Yes, Sunil, Mohan, Nisha, all of you are right. The blending of two words is known as portmanteau words. So here, friend and enemy. The two sounds are combined together to make the word frenemy, friend and enemy. So such blending of words are known as portmanteau words. Yes, all of you have given the right answer. Deepti, Niru, Namit, Soma, all of you right. Kane. Kane is the novel by Jean Toomer that depicts about the Afro-American experience. Jean Toomer was an Harlem Renaissance writer, and this novel Kane appeared in 1923. It is about the experience of the Afro-American people living in the United States. Yes, some of you are giving the right answer. Dulcinea is the right answer. Dulcinea is a peasant girl to whom Don Quixote meets. And Dulcinea is described as a beautiful lady with whom Don Quixote falls in love. Yeah, it itself is a work. Quixote, Don Quixote itself is a work by Miguel de Cervantes, published in 1605 in two parts. First part was published in 1605 and the second part in 1615. And Dulcinea is the beloved of Don Quixote. It's a work by Miguel de Cervantes. This was a query by Bhavna. I hope your query is resolved. To this question, Nisha and Deepti has given the right answer. Samuel Johnson has praised William Goldsmith by telling that having touched nothing that he did not adorn, while he was writing about the life of eminent poets. He also talked about Goldsmith, where he said about him having touched nothing that he did not adorn. Yes, some of you are giving the right answer. The right answer is Absalom and Achitophel, which is a political satire by John Dryden. It's a very famous quotation. Bhavana, Dipti, could have given the right answer. Now it's a very simple question. Last 10 questions are left. I know I am already delayed. I had planned for only 1 hour but they are extending to 2 hours. All of you have given the right answer. Rasselas is the novel by Samuel Johnson. Yes, Bhavana is also right. Rasselas is the novel by Samuel Johnson. The full title is The History of Rasselas, Prince of Abyssinia. It is having a subtitle also, A Tale. The History of Rasselas, Prince of Abyssinia, A Tale. This book was first published in the year 1759. When the book was first written, it was having a working title, The Choice of Life. Later on, when the book was published, the name was changed to Rasselas. Here is a question from Research Aptitude. This is the latest question. What percent of plagiarism is allowed? In the year 2019, UGC has changed. Earlier, it was 20%. Now it is 10%. So A is the right answer. After June 2019, the plagiarism allowed in the thesis as well as in the research papers are limited to 10% only. Yes, Neeru, Suma, Dipti, Vidyut, Revti, all of you are right. French is not such type of style sheet is not there. Number one is modern language association. This style sheet is used for citation and referencing of the research paper and thesis. Yes, Nisa is also right. Very right. So this is modern language association is used in humanities, especially English. The second is APA, stands for American Psychological Association. This is another type of style sheet used in citation and referencing of the research paper and theses of education. Chicago is another type of style sheet which is used in science streams as well as in some subjects like sociology, political science. So this is another Chicago style sheet is another style sheet for citation and referencing. Coming to the next question. I have not got right answer for this question. It's asking about the research database. Research database means at this websites you can find the research papers and the thesis. So Project News, JSTOR and ProQuest and Shodh Ganga. These four are the world known, international famous database, research database. I'll repeat again: JSTOR, Project News, ProQuest and Shodh Ganga. These are the widely used research database all over the world. Shodh Ganga is an Indian database. Is the voice clear now? Say yes if you can hear my voice clearly. The right answer is Malus. Malus is a research journal. It's not a database. It's a journal. Malus is a journal. Whereas JSTOR, Project News, ProQuest, these all are the research database. Mohan has given the right answer. Sumana, Namit, all of you have given the right answer. The right answer is synthesis. In the year 1954, where Benjamin Bloom has given his taxonomy, in which there was all the four options were there. I mean, there were applying, analysis, understanding, synthesis, evaluating. In 2000, this taxonomy was modified and synthesis was removed from the domain. So now synthesis is not there from the 2000 edition. So you can note down and you can get the details of this. Grammar translation method. Grammar translation method is the oldest method. After the grammar translation method came the direct method. And after that came the audiolingual method. So you must know the sequence. They may also ask about the chronological order of all these methods. Then came the total physical response. Then some other methods like suggestopedia, language analysis. These all came later on. TPR stands for total physical response. TPR stands for Total Physical Response. It is another type of teaching a second language. Revati want to know the sequence, grammar translation method, then direct method, then audio lingual method, then total physical response, then desuggestive. So this is the sequence. This is quite a big question. Question number 97. Go it thoroughly. This question is from linguistics. Deepthi has given the right answer. Universal grammar theory. Option D. Universal grammar theory is a linguistic theory developed by not by B.F. Skinner. It's by Noam Chomsky. Yes, D is the right answer. Yes, the right answer given by Sumana, Neeru, Suma. The right answer is lingua franca. Lingua franca is a language. This is adopted by a common language between the speakers whose native language are different. Both of them are not aware about any language. Means Bengali is not aware about Odia or Odia is not aware about Bengali. So they will choose a common language like English or Hindi. So that language will be called as lingua franca. Pidgin is another type of language. It develops between two or more groups that also do not have a language in common. But vocabulary and grammar are matching. So that language is known as Pidgin. Here's the next question. Yes, all of you given the right answer. B is the right answer. It's a research ethic. Whenever you copy something from somewhere, you have to give a proper acknowledgement in your referencing and citation. So conducting a review of the literature that acknowledges the contributions of other people in the relevant field is very important.
And here is the last question of today's session. Question number 100. Data abuse protocols in literary research. Data abuse protocols talks about plagiarism and citation and referencing without acknowledgement. If you are citing or quoting anything without acknowledgement, without referencing in the work reference, so that comes under data abuse. So option 1 and option 4. 1 and 4 are correct and the rest are incorrect. B is the right option. So if you get the time, read about the data protocols, about the research ethics in literary research. So that's all about today's session, and I have covered 100 expected questions. That is from my own analysis and research. Uh, I do not guarantee that the questions will exactly come in the exam, but these areas, these subjects, the things that are explained by me in these questions. So those areas are important from my point of view. Do not rely 100% on these questions only. Read about the other questions as well. These are just the guesses and expectations based on my analysis and research. So you must go through these questions and listen to the entire explanations once again. And all the best for your exam. Thank you, all the scholars.